Young Soldier 861 here, back with my second video on the channel. Thanks for checking me out. If you want to, you can always like, subscribe, and comment. Feel free to. So today's video, I want to kind of address my opinions on how I feel about online coursework and my time of currently trying to get a master's right now, and just being in school during the pandemic and even being in school before the pandemic when online courses were still being kind of relevant. Um, I just kind of want to break down a few things what I disagree about it in terms of the institution itself, the funding, and the really just the objective of what these teachers should really do instead of what they're kind of more programmed to do. Um, and this isn't meant in a harsh, negative manner. This is just my reflections of my personal experience on it and maybe tips or improvements to help get the actual subject a little bit more enlightened and allow these kids to leave actually learning something or enjoy that they learned something maybe. In most cases, a lot of online courses I've taken, like I'm the type of student to still, I always read the material. I do look at the resources and everything, but there's in some cases I do all that and I really don't take away from it. And there's been physical courses where that's been the case as well. But I mean, with online courses, there's a huge, I feel like, disconnect in a sense because you can't really communicate the same way as you can personally. You can't be really as personalized as going up to a teacher after class and having a very sincere conversation or doing a follow up. Yeah, email will pretty much works the same way. I'm saying the actual essence of being there in person and seeing the teacher for yourself. There's a couple things I don't like about online school that I think is kind of it brings the imbalance of uh, actually gaining education is that you know I pay tuition, right? So thousands, and then I sign up for a course and I take the course. And I notice this course has a online course book we have to go through. So that's already one red flag to begin with. Why in a course that a teacher is teaching are they using a third party app or some type of company to teach what they're teaching? I feel like that takes it off. It makes it a lot less organic. That makes it a lot more automated and robotic and easier. Because like I like learning from the teacher, like the teacher who's been learning the subject to obtain a teaching degree for quite some time. So hopefully they have the knowledge to teach it. But instead, it's these course books that we have to take, like um, Pearson or McGraw Hill, to name a few. And I remember those all the way back in high school. And I just don't get why I have to. And usually with these courses, the other thing about this is that I have to pay additional money to the course book. So did my tuition not cover the course and materials itself? And in that case, where does this money go to? Does it go, I feel like it goes to the teacher and the institution. That's just a easy. That's just a stupid gimmick, in my opinion, that just to make the institution more money when we already have to pay. Well, some of us have to pay out of our pocket, like myself. So I don't understand why that's necessary because I'd rather have the teacher actually have a lecture, maybe a Zoom meeting. Zoom meetings. I'm really busy, so I probably couldn't make Zoom meetings, but um, I just don't get why the teacher isn't a little bit more. It's just funny to me because the teachers are always like, "Don't plagiarize, don't do this, don't plagiarize, don't plagiarize," but their whole course is plagiarized from an online course book that they didn't even make. It was made by someone else. That first of all is 10+ years old material. It's outdated material. Like I literally took a class in high school with one of these books, and I don't care. In high school, that should be the foundation of your learning. Like you should learn the most important things in high school before anything else. Like you should learn finance, you should learn criminology, you should learn accounting, you should learn team living, you should learn how to be a young adult. You should learn how to, build stock. You should learn how to enterprise. You should entrepreneur. I feel like a lot of high schools miss that opportunity. Yeah, in essence, reflects a good high school as well. That can be expensive, so that's another problem. But you know, with these teachers, like I feel like I get out of more of the lesson when the teacher's actually explaining it and breaking down and asking me questions or asking the room for questions. I don't know. It just feels like more of an experience, and that's what college should be, especially if you're on trying to finish up your degree or starting your degree online now during the pandemic. There's a huge disconnect, and I doing coursework online or doing group work. Uh, while trying to obtain a graduate's degree it's so unbearably annoying sometimes. But there's been some projects where we had to do a 15-minute presentation and no one answered in my group the entire time, and I had to do an entire 15-minute presentation by myself. Which in essence, it's not really that hard because I'm pretty good at impromptu, but I was just annoyed at the fact that we got graded a little bit based on not incompletion, but quality because I'm literally doing everything. So me, I'm much more of a PowerPoint whiteboard. I'm not really completely design oriented, where in fact someone else in the group could have fixed that. And I feel like that happens to millions and millions of other people online. And but I mean, it really depends on how. I think that reflects on the teaching itself. Like the teacher should be kind of like, okay, you need to fucking do this because I've had a teacher where another group work. I constantly ask the group to respond or yo, let's get started. And I sent the teacher a message like, yo, I'm the only one doing anything right now. And then she said something like, well, as a businessman, you gotta approach these situations professionally and figure it out yourself. I'm like, I'm not doing a 30 plus minute presentation by myself. Like, yeah, in all professionalism, I've tried, I've been nice about it, and I was completely respectful. But there's a point